How you doing?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to speak with you today.
All right.
So to begin, tell us, how does it feel knowing that you are paved the way for women in sports?
I don't really look at it like that.
You
I
don't?
think I just speak from my heart. Like I speak from a place of really wanting everybody to win, wanting everybody to have an impact in their own space. I mean, that's for other people to describe. I just describe me living in a space in which I feel like if something's going right, I'm gonna encourage it. If something's going wrong, I'm gonna address it. And it probably took me a while to get to this place. But I think as you get older, and as I get older, I'm becoming more like my mother. As you're growing up, you would think you're nothing like your mother. Like the rules, the discipline, the stand on you, and you're just like, I'm never gonna be like that. I'm never. Why? Take it easy. And I find myself just very much like her. Things are a lot more clear because of it. I can speak more clearly. I can live more simplistically. I can share my story and allow it to connect with other people who are going through or have gone through some of the same things. So I just look at it just like clean living.
I love your response. It's very humble. I never would have imagined that you would have said all of that, with all that you've done in your career and just being so highly esteemed, specifically here in the Midlands. We love you. I think, Beck, because everybody loves Dawn Staley. My next question kind of readdresses some of the things that you've said. I can only imagine what it's like coming from, like I read in your bio, North Philadelphia, growing up there, your parents moving here. And just as a young child, you said that you were very competitive. And seeing where you're at now, when you were that little girl, when you first got that basketball in your hand and started beginning the sports, did you ever imagine this particular journey?
No. I mean, I knew the feeling that I got from competing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm the youngest of 5.
Yeah.
So, and I grew up in the projects in North Philly. So everything was super competitive. Like I had to outfox my older brothers because I didn't really have very much of my own. Like I had a lot of hand-me-downs. My sister wore this, so now I get it. All my brothers wore that, now I get it. So when I used to love like white socks. Seriously, like white socks. I used to line my socks up on my foot. There was this little seam that goes across the top of your foot. Like all of that. They fit my feet. My brother's feet were bigger. So when they wore my socks, like it would steal my socks and wear them, I used to get so mad, like so mad because again, these were some of the things that just were mine, like not hand-me-downs. I got them in the pack. So, the competitiveness grew from just like those instances being in your house. And then when you venture out into the neighborhood and you start playing a sport, you're occupying yourself with something that is positive, where we grew up. And then, it grows. Like I am still probably the same competitive level, like with anything. Like I got a high level of competing, and I think it's just come with, having to fight for everything. And then I think I've grown into this position in, I guess, passing it on to anybody that's around me. Like more than likely, like the people that I surround myself with are high level competitive people. And that means it just doesn't mean that I want to win more than you. Like it's not just an emotion. It is work. Like I'm gonna outwork you. I'm gonna outfox you. I'm gonna out resource you. I'm gonna do all these things because I want to be prepared to win. So winning takes preparation. It's not just it's not just a want. It's much more to winning than want. It's work, is doing things that's not too big or too small. There isn't anything that I wouldn't do, or anybody that's on our staff that wouldn't do to help our program win. And those are the people that I've surrounded myself with, because I know just because something is not, their responsibility, if they see it undone, they're going to take care of it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say that. My grandmother always said that you have to be born with a winner spirit to dominate consistently, because anybody can win once or twice. But you can't, when you do things, she said you have to do them with the mindset that you want to win, you will win, and not just win, but dominate. There is a difference. Mm-hmm. And it seems like that's what you've done. You've dominated in every area of your career. And I want to talk about when you said fighting and dominating, and how you came up with, fighting just, for a pair of socks, making sure that those were your socks. I follow you on Instagram, so I know you're a sneakerhead, Coach Staley, which gives everybody a better understanding of why you created Innersoul, which I find phenomenal. Your foundation has provided I looked on the website, 30,000 shoes to homeless children. And not just shoes, but tennis shoes, sneakers, and I don't think people understand just how much sneakers, culture, sports, music, how that's just embodied in the African-American culture. Special that is. It is huge. Tell us about the journey of the why behind Innersoul.
Well, one of my partners in Innersoul, we were just having a conversation about like cleaning closets, like spring cleaning. And she actually said, I got all these new pairs of shoes. I'm going to throw them out. And they were like new sneakers. So I just got the idea of what new sneakers meant to me when I was growing up, because, and honestly, I didn't care what I looked like from my ankles up. Seriously, and I have to go back and reflect on being in classrooms, like going to school, going to elementary school, going to middle school, going to high school. And a lot of the conversations are about sneakers. Like you would get rigged if you didn't have on nice sneakers. That wasn't the right thing to do. I know this, but culturally that's, we think very highly of what's on our feet. And if you didn't have a nice pair of sneakers on and people are constantly talking about your sneakers, it takes away from your ability to concentrate and to learn information that you need in said class. So I didn't know when we started Innersoul here in South Carolina how prevalent homelessness is. Like I didn't know I didn't know. I mean, I knew I wanted to give to homeless children and children who were in need. I didn't know there was a need to give out 30,000 pairs of shoes. So, I mean, we started working with a lot of different organizations. When I started it, people were just coming up and saying, hey, my daughter needs or this or that. And we're like, hey, here, like I would just say here, take the sneakers. And then, my partners who, are probably more strategic than I am, said that, no, we need to put a system in place so we can help more people. So we started reaching out to counselors and social workers that work in the school. And it puts you behind when you're just you don't look like your peers. And I know, a new pair of sneakers isn't a cure-all, but at least it can help you get through a day to grasp this information that you're going to need to hopefully continue to pay it forward, like someone's giving you an opportunity to learn and grow. And then from that, we went into like underperforming elementary schools, because there's MAP testing here in South Carolina where you got to pass a test in order for you to advance to the next grade. So we started going around to elementary schools and implementing an initiative called Educate My Soul. And Educate My Soul is an intra-school competition between 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. So all the 3rd graders are competing, all the 4th graders are competing, all the 5th graders are competing. And what we do, each grading period, the class that grades the highest in attendance and behavior and reading and fitness, physical fitness, will have this assembly in which Innersoul comes in and gives each and every 3rd grader in that class, 4th grader in that class, and 5th grader in that class that won. And then we give it to them in front of all their classes. So, I mean, it's super cool. And I'm talking about, if I'm a sneakerhead, I want young people to have the sneakers that I like to wear.
Yeah.
So they're not like, these little cheap sneakers. I want them to learn and grow and to compete in an environment that you're supposed to compete in that way. You're supposed to compete in the classroom. You're supposed to do these things. And once they open the box of shoes and we put them in a nice bag and they open the bag, they open the sneakers up, and I know they don't know what's in the sneakers, but when they see what type of sneakers they are, it's an emotion and a blissfulness that's etched in my, it's etched in my heart to want to continue to help young people in this way.
I think it's interesting that you're combining your two passions together. You're passionate about competing and winning, and you're passionate about sneakers. You're a sneakerhead. And it's almost like your foundation is set up to encourage young children to compete and win and excel over any type of challenges. And then they get the reward of getting these brand new sneakers. I love the concept. I think it's phenomenal. And I'm super proud as someone who has, been pulled in so many different directions on a daily basis that you took time out to make sure that you address a need in the community that can impact the trajectory of a young person's life, especially at that age. When we talk about your career, I know I'm wrapping it up. I know you got to go, but I just have one more question. Congratulations on your winning the SEC regular season. Now you're a heavy favorite in the SEC tournament, and you're looking for the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. How do you prepare for that in the pressure of just knowing that you want to win it, but it could go either way at the split of a second, as we all have seen sometimes?
I mean, for us, I always talk to our players about you are what habits you've created. So when it comes time to be the favorite or to win an SEC championship or to go in each and every game, I have no doubt that when our team suits up to go play a game, here's what I know, that we defend extremely well. Here's what I know, that we're a pretty dominating, rebounding team. Here's what I also know, that we turn the ball over too much. I also know that we haven't played our best basketball, although the other game was pretty darn close. So we are the habits that we've created. So, I mean, there's probably only one thing on there that isn't all that great, which is we turn the ball over too much. So we discuss it, we communicate, we talk about what we're good at, we talk about what we're bad at, we address everything that needs to be addressed. And I also talk to our team about this as well. And I like to just share it because it's so simple. Success has a certain look, sound, and feel. Mm-hmm. It does. Like, when you got it rolling, and then you know when you don't have it rolling. So if something looks off, feels off, and you see it, you have to address it. Like you can't just say, I'm gonna let that go this time. The moment you let that go is the moment that you create cracks into your foundation. And we really can't have that. So our players really understand that concept of creating habits. And the look, sound, and feel is basically we got a standard. We have a standard that we play by. We have a standard that we live by. We have a standard to uphold when we're the South Carolina women's basketball team. So I think it's pretty cool to have a group of young people committed to that. Yeah. And it takes a little bit of time to garner all of 16 players to be committed to that, because they all are super competitive, highly motivated, They want to win, they want to play, they want to impact. And for this particular year, in order for us to be special, it's going to have to take a special type of sacrifice. It's going to have to take a special type of competitive individual who's not able to express themselves in a game like they want to, because there's so many other people that are pretty good at their position that sometimes they don't play a whole lot. So, you know, for us it's just buy-in, communicating and committing to not lowering our standards for anyone or anything.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm Amanda Cooper, and have a great season.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye,
Thank
Amanda.
you.